I'd like to introduce our next speaker, Dr. Lezaan Scholtz-Evans. She's from the Faculty of Dentistry. So welcome, Lezaan, and thank you for joining us. I hope you can hear us. Is Lezaan here? Can you people hear Lezaan?
We can't hear anything, Lezaan.
Morning. Morning, everybody.
Okay.
Morning, colleagues. I'm just going to share my screen with you. Just indicate that you can see the screen. Can you see the screen?
Yes, we can, Lezaan.
Okay. So morning, everybody. Like I was introduced, I'm Dr. Scholtz-Evans. My presentation today is to explain how I use the lesson plan page on the Canva platform to create an interactive module guide. I just want to give a little background around the module. It's the Clinical Dentistry 2 module is a year module. It is situated in the second year of the dentistry academic career. It's based in the Department of Oral Medicine and Perio. However, this module has input from all the departments of the faculty. And the reason for this is this module takes the student for the first time into the clinical environment and patient management. So here the students see this work on each other and see each other, and this prepares them to see a real patient in third year and onwards. So here in this module, they actually gain the groundwork for all the clinical experience that they will have to achieve to graduate as a dentist. And this module is also like a first building block for them to build on to enhance the their clinical expertise. So since 2018, our faculty, under the guidance of our teaching and learning specialist, Dr. Samuel Lundi, has been reviewing our curriculum. And through this process, areas in our courses has been highlighted to improve to facilitate student learning. So we developed the interactive module guide and structured it according to learning units that has been aligned with the concepts, outcomes, graduate attributes, and assessment. And our vision and objective of creating this interactive module guide is to instill in our learners to go through the material before coming to the classroom. So the classroom is not just a place where the knowledge is gained, but actually a place where they get a greater and deeper understanding of the knowledge and analyzed it. So when it was done, it was a 37-page booklet. And in my experience working with students and also having been a student myself, if you hand them a 37-page booklet, that booklet is going to go into their bag. So I had to look at other options of how I'm going to get the student to interact with the guide. So looking at the student of today, they are very comfortable with technology. Technology is all around them. They have smartphones, they're on social media, and etc. So previously, we only used the Canva platform to upload our lectures. So I thought, why not incorporate this module guide into the platform? This will eliminate printing, and it will always be available to the student. As the student has smartphones, they can download the Canva app. The university has Wi-Fi, so it will always be accessible. So creating this module guide on the platform, I had to look at the structure, how I'm going to lay it out, the format, how the information will be loaded upon this platform. And we also had to look at the audience. Students live in a society that is very technology driven. So you had to look at the layout. It must grab their attention and for them to actually engage with the module guide. So I realized I needed help. I needed to meet someone who has a better understanding of the site. So I arranged a meeting with the CIECT member, Ms. Caroline Kiss, and she introduced me to the lesson plan. We first decided to create a project site where I could work with the tools and see how the layout will look like. And also what I realized is if I was going to use pictures, videos, and icons in my module guide, I actually had to create a place on Canva to store it. This creates a direct link on the page. If you could copy it from an outside link like your desktop, there is a possibility when the student open up the page that it won't be able to see it. So the tools that we use, these are the various tools that we get on the lesson plan. And we can use more than one lesson plan. So I created the various lesson plans, and this is how it looked. So for the lesson plan page in structuring it, I actually used the page option, and I used button formation, and this just made it look the layout nice. So the first part on the page, I created an area where the student can actually download the hard copy, because you get that student that wants that paper in their hand. So this is how the module guide was structured, and it laid on the Canva. So like I said, I used the heading as sub-pages. So when the student click on it, it will give all the information that they need to understand the module and where to get their prescribed materials, who's going to taught it, how they were going to be assessed. And we also added on the page like documents that will assist with them in the module guide. So we have a document example for concept and verbs in different languages. So if they have a language problem, then they know how this English word will be in their own language. So I did exactly the same for the learning units. So when they open up the page, the student are introduced to the learning unit. They get information about the learning unit, like why am I doing this learning unit? How does this learning unit fit into me and becoming a dentist? Also, we showed them what previous knowledge they have to gain to be able to do this learning unit, where they can find the outcomes, how they're going to be taught the learning unit, they're going to be assessed, and then the reflection. And there's also, and another feature of Canva, if you make a sub-page, it will also show on the tab on the sidebar, so the student can have another way of accessing the sub-page. So I created this module guide and learning unit, and I needed to find a way to see that the student is actually engaging with the module guide. So I added a checklist, and this is how it will display for the student. And then I can go to Canva, and Canva will tell me who exited the learning unit and who did not. Then for the assessment sub-page, on the page it will show them what type of assessments they will get and how the assessment is aligned with the outcomes concept, also with the graduate attributes, that they can know what in this learning unit do I need to actually qualify and how it will assist. Then we had, after each learning unit, we have a reflection page. For the reflection page, I opted to create it on a Google form sheet, because it's very compatible with the Canva platform. So you just copy the link and you embed it into the page. The student click on it and your reflection sheet will come on. The student can fill it in, and you can actually just go to your drive and access the results that you need to see where the student is struggling or what part of the learning unit they actually enjoyed. The lessons for the lectures, for the lesson plans, in the sub-page, I created sub-pages for each lesson plan. So, for example, the student wanted to see about the periodontal screening lecture. They could open the page, and the lecture is displayed on the page in different formats. The reason being, if you embedded a PDF on your lesson plan, it will display automatically. The student can just scroll down and see, but your narrated PowerPoint, the sound will be absent. So you also embedded the PowerPoint version. The student won't be able to see it, but it has a place where it can download the lecture. What was also great about it, you can actually use videos or your self-made videos and embed it in the page, and it will play inside your page. So the student is on the page. Then in the time of when we approached COVID, we had this great platform, but we had to actually make sure that the student is actually learning is taking place. So we created tasks on the sub-pages of the lectures. And what a feature Canva has, you can link on that page, like was mentioned previously, how they submit the assignment, the assessment. So it can be an assignment form, a test and quizzes. The student click on it and it goes to that area. So the student don't need to go out of the page and go to another page. Also, what we did is to make sure that the student engaged, we added questions in the page, and Canva will link that question automatically to the grade book and you can actually go mark it. You can ask comments for the students. So this is all methods just to make sure that your student is actually engaging with your learning material. And now in term 3 and term 4, the students had more access to data, so we opted to go for online lectures. So we use, like I said, Canva is very compatible with the Google platform, so we use Google Meets, and we could record the online lecture and then embed it into the subpage, and we could do with the evaluation just to make sure that the student is engaging. What we also did is, in term 4, usually our students are in the clinic working on each other. However, due to our situation, they cannot. So we create tutorials online, that we have tutorials with the class. We record it, which is also embedded. We, in our department, we did demonstration videos of how the procedure is done, which is also embedded into the subpage. So for our evaluation and surveys, I found it very daunting to do it on eCanva. So I also opt for the Google Sheet. And eCanva has this feature that you actually can link a web page inside the eCanva itself. So you have a direct link, you copy the URL, you place it in, the student clicks on it, and your sheet opens up, and then you get the results on your eCanva drive. But with every online... Okay, for every online or teaching method, there are challenges, and especially and this time we're only using the online, so we have data problems, connectivity problems, load shedding, and time, and they're all linked with each other. Like if we have a lecture, we have to know if it's an hour long, the student is maybe going to use 200 megabytes of data. Even though they say the eCanva platform is data free, as soon as the student engage with the platform, like downloading, looking at the video, it does take data. So you have to plan around your connectivity. Some of our students are in Eastern Cape, where the connectivity is not great. So you have to open your task longer to accommodate that. And thank you for your attention, and thank you for the opportunity to speak.
Thank you so much, Lezaan. Well, you've said it all. Thank you always for your enthusiasm, always structuring, thinking about your students, and collaborating for assistance. So thank you so much. And thank you to Dr. Samuel Lundi as well, who worked closely with us around the template and the teaching guide, online guide, which he's then able to take further with his lecturers. So thank you, Lezaan, much, much appreciated.